Hi, my name is Kerry Critchlow from RCI Recording Studios, and today we're going to be talking about how to compress a kick or a bass drum, depending on what you want to call it. First of all, compression is essentially a tool used to control dynamics, and that's how quiet or loud something is, and it will also kind of shape the sound to a degree, add vibe, that kind of thing. Now, this is a rough kind of general guide. The numbers that I'm listing here are not super important. They can be a little higher or a little lower. Just think of it as like a rough guide or a starting place, if you will. And then the main controls for a compressor are going to be your ratio, and the higher the ratio, the more compressed it's going to sound. The lower the ratio, the more natural it's going to sound. When it comes to attack, a faster attack is going to make it kind of more boomy or slappy, kind of like you're hitting a wall, so to speak, because the compressor is going to be engaging quickly. A medium attack is going to allow a little bit more of the transients to come through, and it'll give you a tighter, punchier sound. And when it comes to a slow attack, it's going to be much more aggressive and bitey because you're really allowing the transients to kind of pop through and impact you. When it comes to release, a fast release is going to be more explosive and exciting. Medium release is going to be more tight and smooth, and a slow release is going to have much more contained or squashed kind of sound to it. And when it comes to gain reduction, you're looking for 1 to 3 dB roughly. Again, these numbers are not super important, but a lighter gain reduction is going to have a more natural sound. A medium gain reduction is going to have a more controlled sound, and a heavy gain reduction is going to have more of a squash sound. And you can use this as a rough guide to kind of give your kick or bass drum the vibe you want. So for a quick example, this kick here, I'm just going to play it real quick without the compressor engaged at all. Sounds all right. Things I'm going to be looking to do to this is I want to keep it more natural sounding, and I also want to give it a little bit more impact and bite, and I also want to give it more, allow it to sound a little bit more even when it comes to how quiet or loud it is. So I'm going to be kind of making adjustments. The numbers, again, are not super important. These are just kind of rough guide points where you can kind of think about where you want to put your controls if you want the same kind of effect. Okay, so this is without the compressor, and this is with the compressor. So it's a little bit more even. The soft and quiet parts of the kick are a little bit more even, so it sounds like they're more consistent in volume. It's also got a little bit more aggressiveness to it, and but still kind of sounding natural. And that's kind of what I was going for in this particular instance. If you're not used to compression or hearing what compression does, you may not hear the subtle differences, but the more you use compression, the easier it will be to hear kind of what's going on. And when you combine EQ and compression together, that's where the magic really comes in. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Use these, as a rough guide, not as like gospel, right? So like fast attack can be even higher than 10 milliseconds, right? Or whatever. Like, don't think of these as an absolute numbers. Just kind of think of these as rough guidelines to kind of get you in the ballpark of these kinds of adjectives that we're describing here. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.